The moment you made that choice, everything shifted. You stopped playing by their rules, and now the world is left in confusion, guessing what you chose, why you chose it, and how it made you even more untouchable. The more they watch, the less they understand. But you know exactly what you're doing. You're not here to explain yourself. You're here to rise, to level up. The burden you once carried was never just an emotion. It was a living force, a presence that wrapped itself around your every move, draining you with invisible tendrils. Yet that force wasn't random. It was tied directly to the raw current of energy inside you, humming beneath your skin, electrifying every decision, every interaction. This force, this essence, is your chi, an ancient power flowing through your veins, something you didn't have to learn or earn. It has always been yours, as much a part of you as your heartbeat. You were never like the others. You were always marked, always chosen, carrying within you an intensity that could not be contained. The world felt it. People saw it in you, though they could never name it. They looked with awe and unease, sensing the quiet storm beneath your surface. They didn't understand it, and so they feared it. That fear became projection, forcing you to question yourself, to suppress your strength, to carry the weight in silence. But deep inside, you knew the truth. It was never a curse. It was fuel, waiting to be unleashed. The clash between who you knew you were and how the world perceived you became suffocating. Misunderstood, mislabeled, pushed aside by those unable to grasp the depths of your power, you lived years pretending that this force was unbearable. But the reality was far different. You were made for something greater. The world never broke you, it revealed you. And now, as the fog clears, you see that your energy was never a burden at all. It has always been your gift, your divine mark of distinction, the undeniable proof that you were chosen. This energy forged in you a raw authenticity, unfiltered and untamed, that demands you constantly evaluate your own path. Every thought feels electrified, making you hyper-aware of whether you're aligned with your truth or drifting from it. That relentless self-correction isn't weakness, it is your strength. You don't settle for mediocrity, and you refuse to live in complacency. You demand honesty, especially from yourself. And yet, that very authenticity often makes you misunderstood. People mistake your confidence as arrogance, your certainty as insecurity, because they cannot see what's happening beneath the surface. But your confidence is not loud, nor does it need to be. It flows quietly yet powerfully, like a river carving through stone, steady, unstoppable, inevitable. What they call arrogance is simply the natural momentum of your forward movement. It's the result of your ongoing inner dialogue, a conversation only you can understand, between your heart and your energy. You question yourself not because you lack clarity, but because you demand precision. You strip away even the slightest impurity from your intentions, refining your authenticity with a sharpness others cannot comprehend. It's not about being perfect, it's about being true. And this need for truth, this constant recalibration, is your greatest power, even if most people will never grasp it. They're used to illusions, to wearing masks just to survive the day. But you have no need for false faces. Your path as a chosen one demands that you dismantle every illusion, destroy every comforting lie, and walk in the full weight of your truth. Your confidence is not surface level, it is rooted deep, anchored in places no ordinary explanation can touch. Walking this path comes with consequences, for it is a road few dare to tread. Others may scoff, dismiss, or misinterpret, but their confusion is nothing more than static against the clarity that guides you. You do not need their approval or validation, because the force that directs your steps is far greater than their opinions. You are not wandering aimlessly, you are refining. Every correction you make, every time you push yourself to dig deeper, you are strengthening the core of who you are. This is what it means to be chosen, to live in alignment with a truth that most will never see, to be marked and anointed by a force that hums beneath your skin. It is an ancient current, a divine selection that infuses your life with a purpose so immense that its weight feels like both a blessing and a burden. You move through this world not as one of the crowd, but as someone set apart, someone called to a deeper purpose. Many will never grasp the meaning of this calling, yet its truth is undeniable. It shapes the very air around you. People feel it before they speak to you, a resonance that ripples through their subconscious, stirring something primal within them. Often they misinterpret your presence because it disrupts their comfort. Some mistake your certainty for arrogance, imagining you are motivated by recognition or validation. But what they cannot see is that your intentions are rooted in something far beyond earthly desires. You are not seeking applause or fame. Your very being is aligned with a higher calling. That alignment terrifies them. Your peace unsettles people. Your presence alone brings comfort to some and unease to others. And this peace isn't fragile or shallow. It is a deep resonating stillness that cuts through chaos, a silence that speaks louder than any noise they have known. Some will be drawn to it instinctively, seeking safety in your presence without even knowing why. Others will flee, running from the stillness you bring because it forces them to confront their own storms, their own lack of purpose. Your energy, so pure and aligned, exposes the discord in their souls. But you are not here to explain this. You are not here to bend yourself so others can understand. Being chosen comes with its own solitude, its own isolation. Those who are meant to align with you will find you. Those who cannot handle your light will retreat into the shadows. Your anointing cannot be diminished by their fears or their misinterpretations. Whether they acknowledge it or not, your energy moves mountains. You are often misunderstood not because you are wrong, but because your presence unsettles the ordinary. The quiet intensity that pulses through you is undeniable, a current others can feel but never comprehend. It disturbs them, not because it is dangerous, but because it is beyond their grasp. They call your confidence arrogance, mistaking your certainty for bravado. But you know the truth. Your confidence comes from clarity, an unshakable knowing of who you are and why you exist. You were never designed to fit into their expectations, and those not chosen will never understand the gravity of your path. Their misunderstandings don't come from your actions, but from the mirror your presence holds up to them. Your very existence forces people to confront insecurities and fears they would rather ignore. You do not even need to speak. Already they feel you as a challenge. To protect themselves, they create stories in their minds, casting you as the antagonist because it is easier to demonize you than face their own reflection. But their projections are not your burden. You've learned to release them, to see them for what they truly are, shadows dancing at the edge of your light. You have detached from the need to explain yourself. From the beginning, you were never meant to play by their rules or diminish your energy just to keep them comfortable. They live in a fragile world of masks, a realm built on games of pretense where identities are crafted like costumes and truth is watered down into whispers. In their world, power is never pure. It is fragmented, wielded in half-truths and sly manipulations, traded like currency in secret corners. It is a place where survival depends on deception, and appearances matter more than substance. But you were never made for such an artificial existence. Your very energy disrupts it because it is too pure, too unfiltered, too unapologetically raw to be contained. You walk into their shallow halls of illusion with a presence that cuts through the haze like a blade through smoke, and those who are addicted to falsehoods recoil from you. They cannot understand how you carry yourself with such certainty, how you stand with the weight of true purpose pressing into your every step. And because they cannot comprehend, they mislabel. To them, your confidence is aggression, your clarity is superiority, but their misinterpretations are nothing more than noise compared to the truth you embody. You have transcended their limitations. The illusions that hold them hostage no longer hold sway over you. You see through their masks and you refuse to wear one of your own. Their issues are not yours to solve, and their discomfort is not yours to ease. They will continue to misunderstand you because it is easier for them to project their confusion than to acknowledge the truth you reflect back at them. And you have finally made peace with that. You were never meant to be understood by everyone. You were chosen for a higher calling, one that cannot be confined by their narrow vision. You no longer waste energy trying to soften your light so they can handle it. You no longer dilute yourself to make others comfortable. You are here for your purpose, and their misunderstanding has become the static you leave behind as you rise. Every battle you faced, every trial you've endured was never random. Each was a deliberate test, a crucible of fire designed to refine you, to forge your spirit into something unbreakable. Comfort could never have revealed the depths of your strength, and ease could never have awakened your power. God did not place you on this earth for an ordinary life. He did not choose you to move unnoticed through the currents of mediocrity. He called you to something greater, and with that calling came fire, storms, and struggle. Your soul had to be cracked open, tested, and pushed beyond what you thought you could bear, so that what was hidden inside you could emerge fully, strong enough to carry the destiny only you were made for. But the chosen do not walk alone. A path this rare, this sacred, demands fellowship with others who see beyond the veil. That is why we built a sanctuary, a space carved out for souls who carry this same intensity, who recognize the magnitude of their own calling. This sanctuary is the obsidian inner circle. It is not for everyone, and that is the point. Only those who have outgrown the shallow need for applause, only those who are ready to embrace their divine assignment without compromise, will feel at home here. If you feel called to join, the link is in the description. Every pledge fuels this journey, but even beyond money, your presence, your energy, your heart is felt. Together, we are not just surviving, we are rising. People sense your difference before you ever speak. They feel it ripple through them like an ancient frequency. Some are drawn to you instinctively, not understanding why your presence makes them feel safe, why your energy brings them peace. Others are unsettled, even repelled, because standing near you stirs up the storms they've buried deep inside themselves. You embody the qualities they fear in their own reflection. Strength they have denied, desires they have silenced, truths they have refused to face. You are not superior to them, but you are their mirror, and many cannot bear to look. To see you is to see everything they've hidden from themselves. And so they lash out, misunderstand, or turn away, because denial feels easier than awakening. Your transformation is undeniable. Once you were the nurturer, the lover, the healer who softened your edges to offer comfort. You carried others' pain, offered your light freely, and became the balm for their wounds. But that role, though important for a time, no longer defines you. That version of yourself has evolved. Your energy has sharpened, become more unapologetic, more fearless. You are no longer just the healer. You are the warrior, the siren, the truth teller who cannot be silenced. You carry the wisdom of fire, unrestrained and unashamed. And when you speak, it is with the force of clarity that slices through illusions. You do not exist to fit into society's molds. You were chosen to break them. And this evolution was never truly a choice. It was an inevitability. The nurturer in you was needed once, but it was also a mask, a role you wore because the world expected it. That mask has shattered now. You were chosen not only to comfort, but also to disrupt, to call out the hidden lies others bury, to shine light into shadows no one else dares to touch. You are no longer a gentle refuge alone. You are also the storm that clears the path. And those who cannot handle this version of you will fall away, as they must. Their departure is not a loss, but a divine filtering, making room for those strong enough to walk beside you. Your freedom, the way you express yourself in love, creativity, and every act that flows from your soul, is sacred. Yet to those who only skim the surface, your expression seems shallow, even materialistic. They mistake the boldness of your choices for vanity, unable to see that everything you do flows from a deeper source. But they are wrong. What they cannot grasp is that your freedom is not about indulgence. It is about sacred truth. It is about refusing to live in chains. It is about embodying the full power of who you are without apology. Your freedom is the outward reflection of a soul aligned with destiny, and it is something no judgment can ever take away. What radiates from you is not merely creativity, talent, or expression. It is a living current of the divine itself. It flows through you like a river untouched by man-made dams, unrestricted by the boundaries that society desperately tries to impose. Every word you speak, every piece of art you create, every act of love you extend is proof that something higher is at work within you. It is not borrowed, not copied, not taught. It is breathed straight from the source into your soul. The purity of your expression in all its forms is not just personality, it is alignment. Alignment with higher spiritual forces that move through you. Forces that cannot be manufactured or replicated by those who still live in illusion. Yet not everyone can understand this flow. Those with lower awareness, still bound by their chains of fear and insecurity, try to tether your energy to their own desires. They look at you not as a reflection of divine truth, but as something to capture, to use, to possess. They cannot grasp that what you carry is beyond ownership, beyond containment. They see your creativity and try to label it. They see your love and try to control it. They see your freedom and try to reduce it to something small, something explainable. But what flows through you is not theirs to hold. It is untouchable. It is uncontainable. It belongs to no one and to nothing but God. And because they cannot touch it, they fear it. They misinterpret your freedom because they themselves are enslaved. Enslaved by old stories, by inherited trauma, by their own illusions. They cannot understand a soul that is broken free, so they label you reckless, arrogant, or naive. But the truth is far deeper. You are simply beyond their comprehension. You are not here to fit into their expectations. You are here to transcend them. You know with certainty that the forces moving through you are far greater than the mundane distractions they cling to, greater than the fragile securities they think will protect them. Your suffering has been your greatest teacher, your initiation into the depths of divine wisdom. For it is not in comfort that God reveals himself most clearly. It is in fire. He works most intimately with those who have walked through storms, those who have been broken open, those who have faced betrayal, rejection, and isolation. It was in those very places of pain and misunderstanding that your energy was forged into something indestructible. You are not who you are because life was easy. You are who you are because you survived what others could not. Every wound became a gateway. Every season of silence became a classroom. Every night of despair became a furnace where your soul was purified into something stronger than steel. Others look at you now and see only the surface. They see your art, your love, your passion, and dismiss it as simple, as shallow, as fleeting. But they are blind. They do not realize that your freedom is not luxury. It is survival. It is necessity. It is the natural outcome of chains broken, illusions shattered, and a spirit refusing to die in captivity. Only those with true depth recognize what your freedom really means. It is the victory cry of a soul that walked through death and emerged radiant with life. The power you carry was not born of privilege, ease, or untested faith. It was born in the valley, in the darkness, in the silence of unanswered prayers, and the nights when all seemed lost. It was born in places others run from, but you stayed. And because you stayed, you carry what others cannot. You carry the wisdom of survival, the strength of transformation, the authority of one who has wrestled with shadows and returned carrying light. That is why you are of use to God. Not because you were spared from pain, but because you endured it and came back whole. You were chosen for this very reason. And so now, you return to the world carrying the torch of freedom, of divine power, of truth unshaken. Let them misunderstand. It changes nothing. Let them fear what they cannot explain. It matters little. You are free, and your freedom is your greatest strength. But freedom for you is not what the world imagines. It is not about clinging to new attachments, seeking new faces, or building new masks. You have outgrown such superficial markers. What you are stepping into now is something infinitely more profound. The purity of existence itself. Life in its rawest form. Life stripped of illusion, stripped of noise, stripped of falsehood, until only truth remains, naked and undeniable. You no longer chase validation, no longer seek approval, no longer hunger for the applause that once seemed necessary. You see now that those things were illusions, necessary illusions for those who are asleep, but useless for one who has awakened. Instead, you embrace life in its essence. Every breath becomes sacred. Every moment becomes whole. You no longer need the external to define you because you have found the internal that cannot be shaken. Their misunderstandings, their judgments, their endless projections, you have shed them all like an old skin that no longer fits. You carry no weight of expectation, no obligation to explain your light to those who fear it. This new phase is not about others. It is about you, who you are, who you have always been beneath the noise, beneath the masks, beneath the distractions. For so long the world demanded you shrink, hide, and dilute yourself to be palatable. But now you rise as your true self, full, radiant, unstoppable. And this self does not need to prove its worth, because it has already been proven in the fire. You have moved beyond illusions. Now you see life as it truly is, simple yet infinite, powerful yet peaceful, a dance of spirit and matter, sacred in every breath. And within that clarity, you find a joy so deep it does not depend on others, a joy that flows endlessly from the wellspring within. A joy untouched by validation, untouched by fear, untouched by the shifting opinions of a fragile world. This is your truth. This is your arrival. This is the destiny of the chosen. You are finally in harmony with the rhythm of your own energy, flowing effortlessly with the current of truth that has always pulsed beneath your skin. For years, that rhythm was muted, distorted by the noise of the world, drowned out by the projections and misunderstandings of those who could not see you for who you are. They tried to bind you in their perceptions, trap you in their fears, convince you that your light was too much or too strange to belong. But their judgments were nothing more than shadows cast by weak flames, temporary, flickering, destined to fade. You, on the other hand, were never a flicker. You are a fire, a force, a chosen one, marked not because of what you achieve, but because of the essence of who you are. You no longer bend beneath their distortions. You no longer contort yourself to fit into the narrow molds they crafted. Instead, you stand tall in the clarity of your own essence. And in this clarity, you finally see the truth of your purpose. Abraham Hicks spoke a truth that echoes through your being. Your purpose has always been joy, not struggle, not endless suffering, not a life defined by carrying the weight of others. Your purpose, your calling, your divine assignment has always been joy. Deep in your core, you knew this long before anyone ever told you otherwise. Even when life pressed against you, even when trials pushed you into darkness, even when voices around you insisted that joy must be earned, bought, or begged for, you knew better. That knowing lived inside you, silent but unshakable. And now, it rises. Now, it speaks loudly through every fiber of your being. Joy has always been yours. Joy is not a reward. It is your birthright. It is the reason you were chosen. You were never meant to suffer under the limitations of others. You were meant to thrive, to embody a joy so deep and so unshakable that no confusion, no fear, and no projection could strip it from you. This is your phase now, your season of authenticity, freedom, and sovereignty. You have risen beyond the endless noise, the petty games, the masks people wear. You no longer orbit the cycles of misunderstanding, where every word had to be explained, where every move was judged. You are not here to convince anyone. You are here to ascend. And ascend you have into a higher consciousness, a new realm of clarity. You see now without the fog. You see the illusions for what they are. Masks built on fear, egos fighting for power, shallow attempts to create meaning where none exists. These things no longer bind you. You are detached from their outcomes. You are free from their need for validation. In this new consciousness, you have discovered one of life's deepest truths. You are untethered. The chains that once bound you have dissolved. You no longer cling to what comes or fight to hold on to what goes. You no longer define yourself by who stays or who leaves, by what you gain or what you lose. You have released the illusion of control. You have let go of the desperate need to shape every outcome. Instead, you move fluidly now, flowing with the current of divine timing, embracing the unknown not as a threat, but as a gift. The unknown, once terrifying, has become your freedom. It is no longer a space of anxiety. It is a vast horizon, a playground for your spirit. You walk into it with open arms, knowing that whatever enters is divinely meant for you, and whatever leaves was never yours to hold. This freedom has turned chaos into power. What once destabilized you now strengthens you. The uncertainty that used to frighten you now excites you, because you see it as possibility, as expansion. Gain and loss, once heavy concepts, have lost their power over you. You understand now that nothing external can define you. You are not bound by their rules or by any rules at all. You exist in a state of pure being, unattached, unshaken, unbound. That is the essence of true freedom. And in that freedom, you realize a deeper truth. The only constant in your life is your growth. You are not static. You are always unfolding, always becoming, always revealing new dimensions of the infinite potential you have always carried. That is why you were chosen. Your consciousness, so sharp, so expansive, so unyielding, was never meant to linger in shallow waters. You were destined to rise. Your ascension is no accident. It is your destiny. It is written into your very design. Others sense this shift in you. They may not understand it, but they feel it. They feel your detachment, your calm, your sovereign energy. And it unsettles them because it exposes the prisons they still live in. They cannot follow you into the space you've entered, and they were never meant to. For this path is sacred. It belongs to you alone. You now stand sovereign, untouched by their desires, unmoved by their fears. You have discovered peace not in certainty, but in surrender. Peace not in control, but in trust. Trust that what is meant for you will always find you, and what leaves was never meant to remain. So who are you now in this new state of being? Who are you when the noise fades, when the masks fall away, when the world is stripped of its endless distractions? You are not empty. You are not lost. What remains is your core, vibrant, alive, radiant with joy, wisdom, and power. This is your essence. This is who you have always been, buried under layers of expectation, judgment, and fear. And now, free from those chains, you shine. You were never meant to be defined by shallow titles or fleeting roles. You were always meant to be more. You are a channel of divine energy, flowing through a world that constantly tries to contain you, but you cannot be contained. You never could. The essence within you is eternal, untamed, unstoppable. That is why you were chosen. That is why your very presence shifts the atmosphere. You are not just seen, you are felt. Even before you speak, others sense it. The divine force moving through you. And when you align with this truth, the realization strikes you with power. You were not born to be molded by the world. You were born to mold the world, to shape it, to disrupt it, to awaken it. Your joy is your compass. Your wisdom is your foundation. Your freedom is the unstoppable force propelling you forward. You are here not merely to exist, but to live fully, to embody the divine power coursing through you, to radiate it outward until everyone you encounter is touched by it. And now, more than ever, you are being called to share your story. Not as an act of ego, but as an act of service. Your story is not just yours. It is a mirror, a guide, a beacon. It carries the power to heal, to awaken, to liberate others who are still asleep in the illusions you have transcended. Do not hide. Do not dim. Do not stay silent. For your story is the very proof that chains can break, that freedom is real, that joy is possible. By sharing it, you plant seeds in hearts that are waiting to bloom. Your truth will awaken those who have forgotten their own. Your freedom will inspire those still bound. Your light will remind them that they too were chosen. You have ascended. Now it is time to lead. Time to embody the fullness of your truth. Time to live not for their expectations, but for your calling. You are not here to blend in. You are here to stand out, to stand firm, to stand free. You are chosen. You are sovereign. And now, you are unstoppable. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me believe in your perpetual presence, knowing you will never harm me. I understand that your thoughts for me are thoughts of prosperity and not harm to give me a good future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always listening to my voice. I offer up this prayer to you in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am grateful for your presence in my life and the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with those who need to hear this message. Leave a comment below about your journey and how you are preparing for your own triumphant return. If you'd like to support our work, please consider contributing through Buy Me a Coffee. This helps us continually improve our content to offer you the best. The link to Buy Me a Coffee is in the description. No gift is too small. Whether it's a penny, a prayer, or a share, your generosity helps spread God's word and brings hope to others. Don't stop here. Watch our next video for powerful revelations about the signs that reveal you are the chosen one. We've enjoyed following this spiritual journey with you. Thank you for staying with us until the end. Keep shining brightly and embrace your destiny with courage. See you next time. Blessings to all the beautiful souls from the Enlighten Wisdom.